Well, this is what happens. I'm not sure about that, but this is what happens to that shopping. I chose Nicorette for a reason. A guy was arrested shoplifting at my Walmart, less than a mile from where I sit in my office at the courthouse. He was arrested for stealing a bunch of Nicorette gum. Guess what? He was on probation for stealing Nicorette gum in North Carolina when he stole Nicorette gum from mine. And he stole it from a Walmart. Because once he figures out what their security system is, that's the easiest place to go rob, right? So he steals that, he gets out on bond, and then guess what? He's arrested in Charleston for stealing from Walmart. Exactly right. And guess what? This man, who is on probation from North Carolina, out on bond from York County, goes into court in Charleston and gets probation. Because he got caught. I can't say that happened. I don't know what happened there. But we got him back to York County, and he pled guilty to our Nicorette gum theft, and guess what he got? Probation.
Maybe he's just using self-checkout.
Thank you for that. The sheriff just pointed, we get cigarette theft, all the high dollar, everything that's now behind a lock that you want, razor blades. You want razor blades? Guess what? You got to stand there and find some guy to open the thing up and give you the razor blades. Because they're all right up. Those are high ticket items, and they're small and portable. You can steal 25 pounds of them. In case you're wondering, CVS can't beat Wally World. I mean, eBay now. It's actually $25 more. Walgreens is $26 more, and Target is like $17. All more expensive than Walgreens or Walmart, but none of them is expensive, as cheap as the 5-star supply guy. But have hope. Hidden Finds now selling the same thing for $40, $20 less than Walmart. So competition lives on eBay. This has resulted in across-the-board increases in penalties for car break-ins, daytime residential burglaries, larceny, fraud, drug possession. And by the way, if I hear one more time about how our prisons are filled with potheads, I will lose my mind. Every year I call the Department of Corrections and I say, how many people are in there doing time for nothing but simple possession of marijuana? How many? Out of 20,000 offenders the first year I called, guess how many were in there doing time for simple possession of marijuana? One. That was one person. One. I've called back several times. The answer's been 0 to 2. It's almost nobody. You've got to work hard to go to prison for simple possession of marijuana. I'll tell you what isn't so funny is the fentanyl epidemic. This is not funny, and this is the greatest consequence from this horrible policy that we have in South Carolina, because you don't go to prison for simple possession of alcohol. And if there's no threat of prison, there will be no encouragement for rehabilitation. Because we used to put them in drug court, which was an extremely effective program. 70% stayed clean after 3 years going through my drug court. Nobody goes into my drug court now. You know why? Because probation is so much easier. You can keep failing drug tests and nothing happens to you. Fail a drug test in my drug court, you're going to go to jail. Might be for a weekend, might be for 10 days. We'll bring you back out and tell you to try harder. But we're going to push to keep you off drugs, because that saves lives. Instead, they would just put them on this probationary scheme that's never going to hold them accountable, and they wind up dead somewhere, overdosed on fentanyl. We lost more people in the United States in 2021 to fentanyl overdoses. More people died of overdoses in 21 than all of the people who died of overdoses between 1979 and 1998. A 20-year span. 1 year more deaths. Now, this is an outrage, and it's a public crisis. I know 2 different people, not from my job, that have lost family members to fentanyl. Everybody is affected by this. It is becoming an absolute epidemic.
I'll jump in real quick, because I'm not going to have a whole lot of time. I want to speak about what Solicitor Brackett was just talking about fentanyl and the lack of a trafficking law. Last year, I preceded Sheriff Ravenel as the president of the Sheriff's Association. I was heavily involved in trying to draft legislation to get a teeth fentanyl trafficking bill law. And we got behind it, the Sheriff's Association got behind it, and it went through the process in the both chambers of the House. And by the time it went through the process, and those who control the core of power in the legislature, the law that they said, okay, here you go, Sheriff, endorse this, the law was worse than the current law that we have right now, and we had to back up our endorsement. Luke Rankin from Horry County. Gerald Malloy from Darlington County. And I'm like Solicitor Pasco. I don't hate the player, but the game's got to change. Those two individuals will not talk about a bill that has mandatory minimum sentencing involved in it. They want to water down the law. They want us to pass a fentanyl bill that doesn't have minimum mandatories. And then they want to go, well, if fentanyl doesn't have minimum mandatories, then neither should heroin, neither should crack, neither should methamphetamine. And they want to lighten up those laws. I am accountable to the people. Sheriff Thompson, Solicitor Richardson, Kevin Brackett, Sheriff Ravenel, Solicitor Pasco are held accountable directly by the people. And your judges should be too. That should be the will of the people in your community. If County A wants shoplifters and homeless people and drug dealers to be soft on them, then let County A have it. But if your county wants people, judges on the bench, who hold people accountable, they should be accountable to them also. And the way that the current system is set up, it cannot happen. Go ahead.
So, Edward Deming, one of my favorite people, is an engineer in the car industry. And he had a lot of great quotes. He's the guy who, Detroit kicked him out, so he went to Tokyo in the late 50s, early 60s. And his theories and methodologies revolutionized the Japanese car industry and resulted in Honda and Toyota and all the Japanese car manufacturers just crushing the competition for decades to this day. But he was all about systems and systems analysis. We talk about the criminal justice system. Pasco talked about this. Your system is perfectly designed to give you the results you're getting. And your system right now is perfectly designed not to keep you safe. And unless we change that, unless you all resolve to make your wishes known to the people who make these decisions. And let me just say, I'm down on Luke Rankin. I don't hate him either, but I wish he wasn't there. I really do. Because he's not helping us. Okay? He is not a friend of public safety. He is not somebody we go to. No, it's not that guy. I love Greg Henry, though.
Yeah.
I do like me some Greg Henry.
Yeah.
And I love the sheriff. I know him too. I handled I had a terrible murder case that Solicitor Richardson, who is my brother, and I love him dearly, and you have a fabulous solicitor in Jimmy Richardson. But these guys work hard to keep you safe here in Horry County, but they can't do but so much. We need the tools in our toolbox, and the people who give us those tools are in Columbia. Now, they don't listen to us. I promise you, we've been there again and again. They don't care what we have to say. But I tell you this, they do care about you. If they thought the public was energized, if they thought that public safety was a critical issue to the people that elect them, they are terrified every 4 years or 2 years, depending on whether it's the Senate or the House. They will snap to attention when they see an angry public standing outside their door going, we've had enough of you. They will all of a sudden get religion real quick. So we're counting on you. We're going to take this show on the road all across the state. We've got to ring the bell like Paul Revere, ride through the land. The criminals are coming. The criminals are coming. We're trying to get help. Don't let us down, Ori.
One more thing, y'all. Right at it. If you need an example, well, first of all, let me say, I feel the crowd here. I think Ori's behind this. What you can do that can best help the situations that we've discussed tonight is to call your friends across the state and get them on fire about these issues too. It's going to take a a statewide citizen effort to make these changes. I truly believe that. If you need an example on fentanyl, just about a month ago, we decided to start to close a year-long investigation on a fentanyl trafficking ring in York County. We caught three of the big players in this ring at the same house at the same time. We felt like something was going on. We went in, we seized 43 pounds of fentanyl. The DEA says 0.2 milligrams is enough to kill one person. And I'm not smart enough to do the math. But if a gram will kill 500 people, there's 28 grams in an ounce, and how many ounces in a pound? 16 ounces in a pound times 43. That's enough to kill probably the population of South Carolina. And guess what? Unless we had the arm of the federal government helping us in this case, guess what I could charge those people with? The same amount as if I caught the street dealer with 10 pills in his pocket. Possession with intent to distribute fentanyl, the deadliest drug that we're facing today. So think about that.